Time for some rock, paper, scissor. Okay, on the count of 3, everyone roll in. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Okay, I picked rock. Who picked paper and scissor? Which, by the way, who fucking thought that a piece of paper could beat a rock? Obviously, you need to smash a rock on a scissors to break the motherfucker, but how come that same logic doesn't work for paper? I mean, you throw a rock at a piece of paper, what do you think's gonna happen to that bitch? Anyway, now that I got off topic on that shit, the gameplay you're watching comes from Dratus, and as you can see, his clan tag is boss, because you see that shit on the back of his gun and shit. And he's playing on Nuketown, everyone's favorite pre-order map that you can't even fucking play in the normal rotation. Now, for the past few years, one of the main things players have been asking for is balance. We want a game that doesn't have one gun that can beat everything, MP40. We don't want an invincible perk that allows people the chance to fuck you up like the Karate Kid like that. Commando lunge. And if you say you're gonna remove bullshit like Last Stand, don't fucking make it a death streak, man. But right now, balance has turned into what can you do to counter what other players do. Think about it for a second. If I roll with a UAV, then an enemy is gonna say, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use Ghost. Alright, then I'm gonna have to use the Blackbird, or what is it in this game? The Orbital VSAT, or whatever the fuck you wanna call that shit? Anyway. So then to counter that, they say, okay, smart guy, then I'm gonna bring in my counter UAV or my EMP. Well, fuck that. I don't want them to get an EMP. So what I need to do is I need to make sure that they don't get enough points. So I'm gonna throw some bouncing bitches on the floor. So out comes sit rep, or whatever the fuck it is that allows you to see through walls and shit in this game. Alright, then I want to make sure that you can't see shit through walls, so I'm going to put on a wild card, and I'm going to have extra grenades, and I'm going to have scavengers so I can replenish those shits, which by the way, I'm going to have a rant on that in the future, whatever the fuck, man. Anyway, they turn around, and they throw on flak jacket, or whatever it is that protects you from explosives in this fucking game. Alright, motherfucker, then I'm going to roll hard with the most overpowered shotgun in the game. Then, I'm going to sit back with an overpowered rifle because I could do all those bullshits in the same fucking thing. And the list goes on and on and on and on. Before this game was released, Treyarch was touting balance because of all the counters they have in the game. There was an interview with one of those Treyarch guys. It wasn't David Vonderhoor, whatever the fuck his name is. It was another hipster-looking motherfucker that probably hadn't bathed or shaved in a week. Whatever, man. He was talking about how everything in this game has a counter. Guess what? That's rock, paper, scissor, asshole. And you guys have seen me say it plenty of times. Call of Duty 4, with all its simplicity, nailed the formula 5 years ago. It wasn't about rock, paper, scissor with all the perks and the guns and all that stupid shit. It was about what you could do to power your character up, as opposed to worrying about what other people do. Sure, there was annoying shit. We had Martyrdom and Last Stand, to name a few. We know about that stupid shit. It wasn't perfect. Sure, they had their own version of some rock, paper, scissor things. They had Stopping Power and Juggernaut and UAV Jammer to stay invisible and all that shit. They also had, what was that, Bomb Squad, so you could take a look and see if there were Claymores or C4, whatever, man. There was no question there were rock, paper, scissor elements that occurred in Call of Duty 4. However, when you look at all the items in the game, you can see how the perks were meant to empower your character. They weren't worrying about countering what the enemy was doing. We had shit like Frag 3. Remember that shit? Remember that fucking perk? I remember when everybody considered that the shittiest fucking perk in the game. Now look at what you can do. You can have 2 fucking grenades on your character, and you can continue to replenish them with scavenger. What the fuck is that bullshit, man? I mean, I liked it better when you had the 3 fucking grenades. You throw your 3 grenades, and guess what? You have no more fucking grenades. That shit was great for shipment. Everybody knows how you play shipment. You sit in the corner, you throw your frag 3 out, you get your fucking airstrike, and then you just continue to kill shit. But anyway, now you look at what they've done. They've gone ahead and they've added 2 grenades and scavenger and all this bullshit, and then you have to counter that motherfucker. Back then in Call of Duty 4, we had the RPG as a perk. Remember that shit? Remember the RPG as a fucking perk? It was part of perk 1 and shit like that. Then they came up with a brilliant idea in Call of Duty 4. If you put on a noob tube, you took away perk 1. You couldn't have extra explosives because perk 1 was all explosives. It was C4, it was RPGs, it was, what was that, the 3 frag grenades and shit like that. That was fucking brilliant. Put on a noob tube and say, you know what? We're going to take away your perk 1. That's something that should have been done in Modern Warfare 2 with fucking one-man army and noob tubes. If you put on a noob tube, you couldn't have perk 1. Then hence we would have never gotten one-man army and that bullshit. See how fucking easy that was to fix Infinity Ward? Come on, man. Get your shit right. And then obviously the biggest balance of the game was Stopping Power mitigated the number of UAV jamming cocksuckers sitting in corners waiting for people to walk by and shoot them in the ass. Remember that shit? Pretty much 80% of the players had on 3 perks from perk 2. Stopping Power, which was the main one. Juggernaut for the people that were just learning how to play the fucking game. And then obviously UAV Jammer for people that actually ran around. They didn't just sit in the fucking corner. They actually had people who would move around. That was about 80% of the time. Then you had the assholes who wanted Sonic Boom and threw RPGs at your asshole the fucking day. What are you gonna do, man? Now in current generation of games, and this isn't just Black Ops 2. This is also Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 2, whatever the fuck. Everything has to have a counter. There is nothing in the game that can't be rock, paper, or scissored, from perks to kill streaks to guns, you name it. But the perks are basically created to deal with all the equipment and kill streaks right now. The very first rock, paper, scissor perk, like I said, was Bomb Squad, which was able to see claymores and shit all around the map. Now I think it's called Sit Rep or whatever the fuck Treyarch wants to call that bullshit. Now in the game, we need Blind Eye. We need Flak Jacket. We need Blast Shields. We need wild cards so that we can have rock and scissors to totally fuck up Paper's day. This is the new Call of Duty balance. Think about it. Everything you put on your character nowadays is meant to say, what are the other characters going to do? What stupid shit are my enemies going to use because I need to fucking beat them? Then all of a sudden, they took away the perks that really needed no counter. Sleight of hand was the best one I could think of. They threw it on the gun. What the fuck? That was one of the most basic used perks in the game. Basically, you want to be able to reload a lot quicker. Now, you have to put it on your fucking gun. I mean, this is how Call of Duty thinks, man. If there's no counter for it, then it's no longer a perk. Now, for $60, not only do you get a laggy-ass shooter, not only do you get a half-ass product that has no support, that had no beta, now you can play the digital version of a children's game we played long ago to determine who gets stuck with retarded Timmy on their team because nobody wanted him. You remember that shit? Everybody had to do rock, paper, scissors because you didn't want to get stuck with the one asshole in the neighborhood who didn't know how to play the... Ah, man, I ain't gonna get into that bullshit, man. Anyway, Call of Duty has no longer become a first-person shooter, FPS game. It's now RPS. Rock, paper, scissors. Everything you want to put on your character is meant to stop your enemies from doing something fucking stupid. That's pretty much how the game has occurred for the past couple years, and it started with Modern Warfare 2. There's no question about that. You can't just blame Treyarch on this bullshit. Modern Warfare 2 killed the whole formula by rolling out all those goddamn kill streaks. You had all these fucking kill streaks in the sky. So what did you have to do? You had to go cold-blooded. You had to avoid that shit. I don't want to get hit by Harry. I don't want to get hit by a Pablo. I don't want to be seen by a chopper gun. I definitely don't want to get fucking nuked. So what you had to do was you had to go invisible and you had to find these assholes that were sitting back trying to get all their goddamn kill streaks. It was a pain in the fucking ass. Since then, the formula hasn't gotten any better, from Treyarch to Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer making Modern Warfare 3 back to Treyarch. All we're doing is countering what other people do. That's all this game is. Instead of empowering your character to be better, all you're doing is making sure your other enemies aren't as powerful as you are. Now, the easiest way to fix all this shit is to turn the perks into things that make the characters powerful again. And make equipments like Perk 1 and Call of Duty 4. It's the simplest solution to start fixing the game. Obviously, that's not the main fix. But if you want to really start looking at the problems where Call of Duty went wrong, it really involves all the kill streaks. That was the main thing. When they start easing up on the number of kill streaks, the number of lethal kill streaks, I'll say that. When they start easing up on the number of lethal kill streaks, you'll start seeing how different this game begins to play again. But like I said, basically, we're paying $60 now to pay rock, paper, scissors. Anyway, this rant is over. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit. And I'll see you guys in the next Black Ops 2 video.